Welcome to Discussion Pasture. This is the Cow Critic. Today we're gonna talk about tier lists. We're gonna do a couple of these, and I know the tier list is right now. I don't think tier lists are that common today. You won't really find them, but this is something I want to do. This is my own way to kind of like critique about some personal things that I agree on, and that's what the whole world is based on. They're based on opinions, and that's normal for anyone to live through, which I don't see that as a bad thing. So let's see. So first off, we're gonna do all the FNaF games. We're gonna talk about the FNaF games. First off, let's play Freddy in Space 2 and Fury's Rage. I have never played. I think these two games, Freddy in Space 2 is literally just Mega Man, but slap Freddy on it, and that's literally it. From what I've seen, I haven't played. I mean, it's based on a mini game in FNaF World. I wasn't really good at that mini game, which I didn't get that far into, because that FNaF World was probably should discuss this later, but quick words, FNaF World was kind of different. So in Fury's Rage for Security Breach, yeah, it was an interesting premise of the game. I love how Scott made this game, because Security Breach was delayed, and so yeah, I like the intro is like a warm welcome, and like, oh, it's so funny, but thinking about it now, and that intro for Fury's Rage didn't really age well. It didn't like age perfectly well at all. It doesn't feel right talking about it. That's why I don't really play the game. Also, the reason why I don't play the game is because it's rather short. I like, what is there really to talk about it? It's basically a beat 'em up, kind of like Double Dragon, which if y'all never played Double Dragon, I haven't beaten the game, but I have played it on my NES, which I might play. I'm doing like pretty soon. I'm doing Nintendo consoles somewhere in the future, which is going to be cool. I actually did film my playthrough of Mario 64 for Nintendo Switch Online, but there's a lot of problems with the service. That's why I never touched it ever since. Okay, off topic here. Let's go. Start with the first game. Deserves an A. Probably, of course, everyone started with the first game. FNaF 1 really revolutionized horror gaming and jump scares in general. The thing about FNaF, the first game, what made it so charming was how you feel very secluded and you're being attacked. You're about to be like haunted by these like Chuck E. Cheese-esque robots that are haunting you, which is an interesting premise. I don't think anyone has ever thought of that before. I mean, there are horror stories I heard about Chuck E. Cheese, but yeah. FNaF 1, of course, when everyone played it or seen videos of it for the first time, it was terrifying. And I remember when I saw Markiplier's video when he got jump scared by Foxy. The scream was so terrifying. I was so scared to go near like corridors or doorways, because I thought something might jump out and scare me. Yeah, I was a very, 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 very terrified child. It's wow, amazing. It's kind of amazing. Also, Yeah, the doors and the lights mechanic. It's kind of weird how Scott ditched the door mechanics. I mean, I get it, he was trying to be original, but yeah. I mean, every FNAF game has their own elements, and they all have their ups and downs. But yeah, FNAF 1 still holds up. I think FNAF 1 may be a game I might revisit, not as a playthrough, but I will. But it is a game I would definitely come back to because how nostalgic the game was. So move on to FNAF 2. This one deserves a B. FNAF 2 made I think all the games up to like, actually no. I think all the games up to like FNAF 4 thing, it was all like the games up until like FNAF 4, all the games have a lot of horror elements added to it to make it more scary. I mean, that doesn't mean that all the games are not scary. That doesn't mean not all the games are scary. They totally are. But what I'm saying is how the the spectacular charm of being scared has kind of like dwindled over time. Well, I mean, the games right now, they're pretty old. The Leaf FNAF, I think the first FNAF game was like 7 or something like that. It's still 7 years old, but if you think about it, it's almost a decade old. If you realize that, which is insane. Back on topic. Okay. So FNAF 2, I like all the I mean, characters added are pretty good. I think the scariest one, I think at the time FNAF 1 was like the scary. I can talk about scary animatronics later, but FNAF 2, they added a lot of scary characters. I mean, the characters are actually pretty good. I like the toy animatronics. I like Mangle. Yeah, Mangle was really cool actually. She was like the like this monstrosity, raggedy pile of like metal scraps, and made it as like an attraction, build it together or something like that. But yeah, Mangle is kind of an interesting concept, though I don't get it how like is either their animatronics are very cheap to make, or or the kids are really strong to pull off like her costume basically. Like, I don't know how strong these kids are, whatever. And the puppet is, well, yeah, a marionette. Really, really, really cool concept, which I really like, though it terrified me as well. Balloon Boy, everyone did not like Balloon Boy. I didn't really care at all as a kid, but I just followed everyone saying like, oh, it's not my favorite. FNAF 2, I think at the time I knew it was very difficult because the mask wasn't reliable. I think that's the reason why Help Wanted was more easier, is because they fixed some of the elements and flaws that the previous iterations of the game had. But FNAF 2, it still holds up, but not as great as the first game. FNAF 3 also gets a B. FNAF 3 and FNAF 4, those two games were like the most speculated out of all the games. Out of all the games, FNAF 3 and 4 were the most speculated. Like, there were so many rumors, quote-unquote leaks, speculations of the games. I've never seen any of the games become heavily in depth. Like, you don't see, like, I've seen so many teasers about, like, well, quote-unquote teasers, and I've seen leaked screenshots of FNAF 2 and FNAF 3, FNAF 3 and FNAF 4. Like, those games had so many elements that a lot of people were adding. I think out of all, but FNAF 3 was like the most speculated. It was the most hyped game, which I remember. Yeah, It was interesting. I mean, FNaF 2 had vents, but FNaF 3 was the first one to utilize it even more by using like latches to close, which is interesting. I personally enjoy that mechanic, and they also had like the control module, which everyone didn't like, including my friend, but I didn't really see it as a problem, but it was kind of annoying how you have to wait for I think it was like 3 seconds for one task, and to do all the tasks, or like two or more tasks, you have to be like 9 seconds to reboot all. But I don't see it as a problem. But it's kind of interesting how it's like one animatronic that kills you instead of like the big amounts. It's only like one antagonist. There are like shadow animatronics, but they don't really do anything. It's just like lead Springtrap closer to you. But yeah, FNaF 3, yeah, big speculator game, still holds up as well. FNaF 4, actually deserves a C. FNaF 4 really was like, it felt like it was like the final game, like final chapter, and like it's the end of the book. No one is going to be interested in more FNaF games, except that's a lie. FNaF 4 really also terrified a lot of people playing it because of the Nightmare design. I think Nightmare Chica and Nightmare Foxy were the most terrifying. Nightmare Chica had like monstrous rows of teeth, and Nightmare Foxy, for some reason Scott said like the tongue, very snake like tongue, wasn't scary. But to me, like, it looked silly, but to me it looked really terrifying. I mean, it didn't really add anything to the game, but it looked pretty cool. Yeah, they could add that in, but I'm not Scott or Steel Wool at all. Those are just my opinions. And like, they added a bunch of stuff. Rank Trap comes back, quote unquote, as Plus Trap. I really like how they utilize, and it's like the first game that have like DLC, like the Halloween update, which is really cool. Added like a whole bunch of characters, though they were non-canon, like Nightmare Mangle and Nightmarian. FNaF 4, although it switched a lot, it switched up a whole lot of what the formula was. Like, you're in the office, but no, you're in a bed. You're in your bedroom, looking at the doors. They brought back doors, quote unquote, but they added doors back, quote unquote. They had a closet door, and yeah, I think overall the game was very stressful. From what I've played, I haven't played it that much, but from what I've heard, it was kind of like difficult. Move on to the joke. As everyone thought it was like the last game, it got teased to like a new game, FNaF World. It goes as a C as well. FNaF World is an RPG game. It's mostly all the. I mean, I like the concept. Yeah, Freddy and the gang fighting these enemies, seeing what's up for danger, in an RPG style. Even though I am not good at RPGs, and I'm not really a fan of it. I think the last time I played an RPG was Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo. I didn't enjoy that much. FNaF World, mostly, I think FNaF World, I mean, I like the visuals, and it was sad how like Scott, I mean, I understand Scott's words, but he knew that FNaF World wasn't great for everyone. It just wasn't fit for everyone who was into the thing, and it costed money, which I've never played the game until like Game Jolt. Until I discovered Game Jolt. I got it and I played it. It was pretty good. I don't think this FNaF World does not deserve a price at all. It's like one of those games where it doesn't deserve a price, as well as like some of the other games here. Well, I can talk for one quick second. FNaF World is those games where where it felt like it didn't need a price tag. Well, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria Simulator is one of the games where I believe it could have had a price tag for PC at least. You have to buy it on like other stores, but PC it's free. which didn't really make sense for me, but I still got it. But yeah, FNaF World is real. There's really nothing to say about FNaF World. I haven't played it that much, but I did get through some of the games. It was kind of tough, challenging, and it was kind of fun to play for a little bit. But all in all, it's just a simple RPG with a lot of dark elements, which I have played some of the mini games, which are really, really good in there. And move on to Sister Location. Deserves a B. Sister Location was probably one of the very interesting games. Very like it drove away very far away from the original source of B. On FNaF 4, like, you're not in the office, but it still had the same formula. Sister Locations where it branched out of that formula and it decided to become more quote unquote open world sort of. It's pretty amazing. Sister Location added a lot of voice acting, even though FNaF World was the first game to have voice acting yeah. Because I mean, FNaF World, I didn't know it had voice acting until like after Sister Location, which is kind of weird. But Sister Location, it was really, really interesting. It had the atmosphere and the tone was more dark, which is something I've never seen in a FNaF game. I mean, there's a lot of people who make stories about like a FNaF game becoming very dark. If we're all going to talk about like dark, like edgy and darkness of in like the FNaF franchise, in my opinion, I think the edgiest game is between Sister Location and FNaF 3. Those have a lot of dark elements. FNaF 4 as well. FNaF 3, 4, and Sister Location have very dark elements that I think should have been incorporated more into the games. But yeah, Sister Location there's more female prominent characters, which is a big step up in Freddy, and the main antagonist isn't really an animal robot. It's a humanoid. It's like this humanoid clown robot chick, and then later turned out to be like a hoax because it was like this monstrosity mesh of wires and a mask. Sister Location, I think I got all the way up to the fourth night, and the fourth night I just cannot beat at all. I can't really revisit that. I looked through like tips videos, but the strategy video I saw came out years after I stopped playing Sister Location. But Sister Location still holds up a little bit, but not as much as the first game. Pretty much most of the games, but until pretty much the games after FNaF 1, but probably soon. Probably for right now, the games don't hold up as the first one because the first one has a lot of nostalgia into it. Pizzeria Simulator B. A lot of people call me the boring kid because I love simulating games. Like a lot of simulating games, kind of like I used to like Roblox simulating games. I used to play before I ditched the community. Simulating like, restaurant simulation, or there's tycoon games. Those are like one of my favorites to play. Pizzeria Simulator branched out as well, but it still kept like part of the horror element. I think it went back to the sitting in the office, which is good. But it also parted as buying items and like setting up your own pizzeria, which I really, really like. And I was a bit disappointed where Scott couldn't deliver the other DLC where it would be like a tycoon game, a section where it's an actual tycoon game where you actually serve pizza to like kids. The game, which I really would love to play a simulating game of FNaF, but that hasn't came out. There is a Pizzeria Tycoon game I have played on Game Jolt. It's a fan-made game. I'll probably, but it hasn't been updated since like, I forgot. But the game hasn't been updated. Created by the same person who made Jolly 3. Pizzeria Simulator, it was a really interesting premise of like checking if animatronics are good or not, should be salvaged. But Pizzeria Simulator, pretty good. But if it had a more tycoon-esque kind of like, if it had more tycoon elements added into it, kind of like possible DLC, I would have ranked it a bit higher. Ultimate Custom Night, this one is an A. Like, Ultimate Custom Night is like the Smash Brothers, the Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame of FNaF. Almost every single character, not all, almost all of the most recognizable characters from FNaF 1 all the way up to Pizzeria Simulator made it in. It was really, really cool. See, it was also one of the most hyped up games. Not as like rumor speculation of the game as like FNaF 3 and 4, but a lot of people were checking in on updates, which made it really amazing. Ultimate Custom Night was like a hectic game. I tried 50-20 mode and yeah, that one's a big of a doozy. But yeah, I like the FNaF. I like Ultimate Custom Night because of like the big diversity of mechanics used. Like they had the mask, they had cameras, they had like new elements like power-ups and fast coins, which are mega useful when you're getting the death coin. But yeah, I think it still holds up kind of like the first game. The only minor complaint I have is the challenges. Like they don't really have any diversity. It's just there are like multiple challenges, but all of them are like split up to like two to three sections, which I could have been moved up to like one category and then added different ones, but it was still fine. You shut up, phone. But Ultimate Custom Night hands out probably closest to the best game. Help Wanted, it's Help Wanted, Security Breach I'm still playing those games, but Help Wanted deserves a B as well. Help Wanted currently, it's just basically all the FNaF games turned into like, but you play it with a virtual reality headset, which I don't own. But a lot of people wish FNaF was in virtual reality ever since like the second game. Everyone wanted it to be in virtual reality. I think there was like a fan creation. PewDiePie played it. It was a really old video, but yeah, I remember watching that. I was terrified still, but it was amazing. But I haven't really delved down into like Help Wanted that much. But the game was pretty. But the game is just, well, for now, for me at least, pretty average. Because it's the elements. I know there's like different game modes, but I'll probably get into that very later. Let's move on to FNaF AR. This one deserves a D. FNaF AR. I knew there was going to be an AR game, but I didn't even know what the term AR, augmented reality, was until I looked it up, and it was like something for the phone. I thought it was like the coolest thing ever, but then like Lumix isn't the greatest when it comes to handling the IP in their game. It just doesn't work. Like I can talk about skins pretty much later, but a lot of skins right now are either a hit or miss. But I'll discuss about that later. I think what turned me off was how it relies a lot on luck. If you, because most of the time you're trying to get an animatronic, and you try to like, flash a light and like zap it, it just won't appear at all. It gets pretty annoying, and in the app for me at least, or for everyone who played the game, it crashed like multiple times. The game would not stop crashing multiple times, and it kind of turned me off of what could have been could have been a potentially great game. Again, the only thing good about FNaF AR is the skins. They're fantastic. They're creative. Although there are some that are very mediocre. Finally, Security Breach. Give it... right now a B. Security Breach, for me at least right now, is a free roam game. A lot of people wanted a free roam FNaF game, which is a wish everyone wanted, which is awesome. I have played a bunch of free roam fan games on Game Jolt before. Pretty good. I mean, if you've seen my Park of Horror episode, that one amazed me about how insane the game was. Security Breach added a whole bunch of new characters that really add a lot of diversity into the game. Like I think Social Location and Pizzeria Simulator are one of the few games that had like new incarnations of a character. Like Social Location added like humanoid characters. Pizzeria Simulator added like pigs, frogs, a beaver, an elephant, a hippo. So yeah, I love the diversity of animatronics. A lot of like diversity of other animals. Like they had Security Breach has an alligator, which is awesome, and a wolf. But they already have a wolf character in the Twisted novel series. But I haven't read the novels yet. I have read the Silver Pages a while ago, but I've never ever have caught up with that. I'll probably read it once I get the graphic novels. Funny story. I remember walking in a Walmart and I walked past both the graphic novels of the Twisted ones and the Silver Eyes. So yeah, those are really good copies. But I haven't played too much of Security Breach yet, so I have yet to looked into it. So I'll probably have to play more of Security Breach to get a full sense of the game, as well as Help Wanted.
Don't correct everybody. I'm sure the Gamer will continue making more videos like this pretty soon. While you listen to my lovely voice, make sure to like the video, leave a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification at the bell to get reminded of new videos. Share this video to everyone you know. Until next time, where the Gamer will talk more about the Mario games. See you next time.